Today is day 6 of our Advent calendar, so we'll have our tea and then we're going to talk about a fictional bucket list. I'm sure everyone has one. So let's see, what have we got? Today we've got a mitten, so we're going to do this one. Oh, I got it right the first time. It's the little things. Okay, so what is this one? This one is Liberty. Rose hips, rosemary. Woo, I dropped. I dropped it. There we go. Luckily, it only landed in my lap. Rose hips, rosemary, fennel, and mint. Well, I know I don't like to eat fennel, but maybe in a tea? We'll see. All right, so I've got my tea ball. And we'll pour this one in. You could definitely see the rosemary. And what else? Rose hips? Yeah, I think you can see the 2 of those. I don't know if I can get the thing close enough in the tea ball, but I don't want to do it without the tea ball because I'll make a mess. All right, and I'm back to mugs. I can only use teacups so often. And today's not one of those days. So I didn't get much sleep last night, so I figure I might be extra clumsy. So I don't want to use a pretty teacup. All right, so while that steeps, we'll talk a little bit about my fictional bucket list. Oh, look, I've got rosemary all over everything. So, with my bucket list, it was things that, fictionally I'd love to be able to do if that was possible. So the first one is, you know how much I love the Christmas tree farm mysteries. So the first one would be to spend Christmas at Mistletoe, Maine, at the Christmas tree farm. I want to do reindeer games. I want to, sit at the inn. I want to have, cookies and cookies special hot cocoa and, those sort of things. So I just think it would be really sweet. And I don't know if there is a Mistletoe, Maine, but it's probably not quite as wonderful as the books. But that would be my first one. The next one is to teach at Hogwarts. Um, I'm too old to be a student there, but I think it would be fun to teach there. I'd like to teach Professor Sprout. I'd like to be the teacher of herbology. I love herbs and creating things with herbs, and I think that would be a fun job. Minus Voldemort and the, killing people. But without all the drama, it would be a fun job. And I want to be able to wear like the big hat like McGonagall and long robes and things. So yeah, that would be good. The next one is I would like to have a wardrobe that opens into a mystical world. So it doesn't have to be Narnia. I'm okay if it's not, but someplace magical. I don't know where exactly that would be, but um, I'm thinking Candyland magical. But Forest magical is good too. But I think it would be pretty neat to be able to to step into your wardrobe and go someplace else. Um, I'm okay with it being a TARDIS too. Can go someplace different every time, have more space in it than what you think. That would be cool too. And Sebastian's smelling the tea, so he's making his way over here. I'm just gonna tuck this away because he does like to be involved when it comes to tea. And the next one is to have, and this isn't really, it's book themed, but it's not really a particular book it comes from. But I'd like to have a bookcase with a hidden opening that leads to a hidden room, and I think most readers would. We've seen it in so many movies and read it in books and things, but I want where you pull out the book or you turn something a certain way, and the next thing you know, it all opens up into a secret spot. Um, I think of the movie Knives Out too, and I don't know who's seen it, but it had this kind of staircase in the back, and then it you had to, I think you had to do something to get to the staircase, but then it went up to this little room at the top, and yeah, I think that'd be pretty neat. Um, and I always think for security, that would be cool too if nobody knew about it, because, somebody breaks in, you can, easily slip away and no one would be able to find you. At least that's the theory. It's a theory in the books. The next one would be to have a room, and this one would be easy enough to do. Well, okay, a little hard, but it would be to have a room with a comfy chair, blankets, beautiful lighting, and floor to ceiling bookshelves with a ladder. So I would need a much bigger place to live to be able to have all that, especially the bookshelves with the ladder. But that's the dream. And there's actually a booktuber who, I mean, she doesn't have bookshelves with a ladder, but I do like her space. The channel is called Mama Reads Romance, and she sits in a chair in the center, and I feel like she's surrounded by bookshelves, and it all looks very cozy and a really nice place to read. So I wouldn't mind that. Before we go further, let's check on our tea. Oh, it looks pretty. We'll see. It's still looking kind of weak, so we'll give it another minute or so. All right, so the next one is like in Outlander. For those of you who've read Outlander, the main character steps kind of into a fairy circle and ends up in Scotland, hundreds of years before. So I think that would be cool. Again, like the romanticized version. I don't want to step into the middle of a Scottish war. I don't want to, do all those things. But just the thought of stepping into a fairy circle and going someplace outside of time or in a different time would be cool. So the next one is, and I've wanted to do this ever since I was little, is to step into illustrated pictures like in Mary Poppins. So in Mary Poppins, there's like chalk drawings on the sidewalk, and she steps into one and then goes right into whatever that picture was, and I think that would be cool. Um, yeah, I was trying to think what pictures I would step into. I mean, maybe a nice picture of, a seashore on a bright sunny day or something. One of those pictures with the two Adirondack chairs and and the margaritas, or something along those lines. And the next one would be to go into every animal book and pet the animal. And you know, as an animal lover, that's I would love to be able to go into the Baker Street Mysteries and pet Baby. I would love to pet the chatty corgi, Black Beauty, Lassie. It doesn't matter. Any animal is good. I was trying to think of fictional animals, and there's not a lot of fictional cats. I know there's the one from Cat in the Stacks. Yeah, can't remember his name. Diesel. Diesel? Is that right? I think that's right. And then there's like Garfield, but but I don't think of cats as quickly as I do dogs. I'm not sure why. So, all right. So I've got one last one, but before I do, I'm gonna try the tea, and we'll see what we think. All right, see what we can taste in this. Actually, it's not bad. I think the mint comes through more than anything, which is good because, like I said, I'm not crazy about fennel, but yeah, I can't. Well, I can get a tiny touch of the fennel and a bit of the rosemary, but I think mostly it's definitely the mint that's coming through. I don't taste the rose at all, which is probably not a bad thing. Rose is probably a little perfumey, but try one more. Yeah, it's good. I would give it probably 3 out of 5. It's not bad. Okay, so the last one, the last one's maybe a little snarky, but there are times I would love to be able to step into a book and um, kind of smack the hero or heroine. It's like in a gentle way. But there's so many books that drive me, and I know it's a plot thing. I understand that, but it drives me crazy in books where the hero and the heroine aren't talking to each other, and it's just if they would just communicate, everything would work out fine, which it does in the end, of course. But there are times that like you just want to shake somebody or say to them like, "What are you thinking? Just tell them the truth." But so that's it's my fictional bucket list. If I want to smack people, I can, just fictionally. But I do think of that sometimes. It's like when you watch the horror movies and the pretty blonde girl goes down into the basement, and you're thinking, "Don't go in the basement." But so it's that sort of feeling. So that is my fictional bucket list. So what do you think? What's on your fictional bucket list? I'm sure I've missed tons of things that you could do on a fictional bucket list. I mean, I think it'd be cool to do like a book tour of, um, I don't know, every. I've tried to think of one place in particular that there would be a lot of authors from, maybe someplace in England or something. But it'd be cool to do that too, to be able to go from like place to place and see where authors grew up and have like a really good tour where they tell you all about their lives and that sort of thing would be neat. I don't know. I'm sure it must exist somewhere, or there must be a book cruise or something. But yeah, that would be neat. So that's yeah, like I said, that's my bucket list, and I'd love to hear yours. And meantime, I'm gonna go and finish my tea and get ready for work. And my cats are all on the table looking at me where they're not supposed to be, but surprisingly, they didn't end up in the video today. So I'll go get them down and maybe give them uh, I don't know. They don't deserve a treat for being on the table, but I'll see what I can do. I bought them new beds yesterday, so maybe I'll encourage them to go try out their new beds. All right, talk to you soon, friends. Bye bye.